Hey guys, how's it going? It's your girl Tally back again with another video for you all. All right, now today's topic, again, really important, guys. So I'm seeing a post go around social media, and it was like a girl just basically admitting that, you know, at her age that she is right now, that she's just done with dating. It's been too much for her. She's gone through a lot. She's suffered a lot. And that story is similar to a lot of us. A lot of us have been through some things, you know. I hear a lot of stories, you know. Certain posts you go under, you get lost in the stories we hear that women go through, okay? And I've been through my share of drama in relationships, you know? So a lot of us just don't. Some people had the privilege of bypassing a lot of that, good for them, but a lot of us didn't, right? So we went through our thing. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. When you go on that little soapbox of declaring, I'm done with relationships, I've been through too much, people are so fake, da 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 da. You are like a fish bleeding in the water, and you're making yourself susceptible, aka vulnerable, to sharks. You are like blood in the water. And this is what I need us to understand, especially women to understand. When you are that type of person and you are announcing that to the public, right? Or maybe you're not announcing that to the public. Maybe you're hanging out with people, or you're like chilling with men. Or I think some women like go out on dates with men, right? Or hang out with men, and they tell men these things like, oh, I'm so done, I've been through so much. And you're telling men what you've been through, and you're telling social media. Listen, guys, the fact of the matter is, this is life. And we have to live it no matter what. You either show up and show out, or they say you lock yourself in the back room and don't live. But no one does that, right? No one ever goes and locks themselves in their home and never ever comes out. And some people do that, and we see how that goes. But then we have that in between, people who think that we can show up and do life, but still be leaking and still be bleeding. And I'm telling you right now, that is not the perspective that you want to take, to show that you are bleeding. Listen, we all have work to do, and we all need to be doing our work on a daily basis. We all need to be healing, and we all need to be making sure that when we show up, we don't have the bleeding, the wounds, and the blood stains on us from what we've been through. That's why we say we show up as our best self. And your best self is not still carrying the pain and the wounds from the past. Because why? You still have to live life. That's why you have to heal. That's why you have to make it so important that you heal, because you still have to do life. And the way you heal determines the quality. If you heal, determines the quality of life you're going to have here on after. If you keep showing up wounded, bleeding, which means you're not healing from your traumas, you're still blaming this and that, and you're still showing people like, I'm hurt. All you're doing is attracting sharks. You're attracting people who are just going to take advantage of your current state right now. Because I'm telling you, this is life. We didn't have any choice to be born into this life. We had no choice about anything. We had no choice about growing older and having to become an adult and having to pay bills and having to fight to have a good life. We had no choice about the matter. So it's here, and we have to live it. This is the life we're done. If you're a man, you had no choice about the children you brought into this world, right? If you're a man, because that was ultimately up to the woman. So the children are here, and it wasn't, I mean, you had a choice of whether to have unprotected sex, right? But when the woman got pregnant, you had to just accept that. Or I don't know, some of you guys crazy, but that's what I'm saying. We have to accept what it is. We have to accept what life is. And life is not going to go easy on you because you're admitting defeat. Life is not going to go easy on you because you're hurt. And that's so sad to say, and I'm sorry to say it. But the best thing you can do for yourself is heal and show up. Heal and show up. Wipe yourself off, clean yourself up. And maybe I'm talking about that in a literal way for some people, because some people, you know what I'm saying, sometimes life gets them so down that they don't even take showers and they don't clean themselves up. They don't, they don't keep up with themselves anymore. And that's just a matter of life. Sometimes it's that bad, but others, you think that if you could say, you know what, I'm not dating anymore, you think it's all over. And no, it's not. It's not, because at the end of the day, people are still going to come into your life. And if you're not doing the work to heal, to grow, and then to gain the knowledge, you guys, the knowledge and the wisdom, like if you're a woman and you see that you have a pattern of being hurt over and over again, then there is some knowledge that you need. There is some wisdom that you need. And I'm willing to bet that the knowledge and wisdom has been trying to come to you, but you've been forsaking it and you've been trying to push it away. But it's time for you to realize that those some things that make you angry, that make you mad, that you don't want to listen to, you need to listen to it. There's some people there's some friends and even some family members that I try to tell them, I try to give them the wisdom, or at least tell them that they need to go seek the wisdom, and they reject it. And the patterns that continue to occur in their life because they continue to reject the wisdom, it's ultimately their fault. And you see it. You see the thing, you see progress not happening. You see the same old things happening over and over again. And why? It's because they're rejecting wisdom. Sometimes they're rejecting wisdom because it may be the person that's giving it. It's probably because it's me, right? Because people may look at me and be like, why are you qualified to give this? Honestly, that is part of how the enemy tries to use, I guess, that's the part of the attack that the enemy has on me. Like, people, there's something that he uses that makes people not want to listen to what I'm saying because of who's it coming from. They look at me and they're like, oh, why are you qualified to speak and say this? I could be saying something that's 100% real, something that's going to change their life. And he probably does this with a lot of people. Even in the Bible in Proverbs says wisdom is in the streets calling out to people, and people are just walking by and rejecting wisdom. So already, if you are a person of wisdom, you are going to go through a lot of rejection. Look at that. That's a light bulb moment for me. That's a light bulb moment for me. When I tell you that since I was born, my whole upbringing, I've suffered feelings of rejection. And then now to realize that I'm someone who wants to give wisdom to this world, or, what's given to me, I want to give it back to you guys, and I want to help people. It makes sense that I've been rejected, or I continue to the constant theme of feeling rejection in my life. That happens because if you're someone who carries wisdom, you're going to be rejected, because people on a daily basis are rejecting wisdom. It's not just you. It's not just me. And wisdom is God. God is wisdom. So when you reject the principles of God, when you reject what he's trying to help you and keep you from and protect you from, you're rejecting God. And unfortunately, there's going to be a price to pay for it. So when you go through your season and you're going through your emotions and you're like, you know what, I'm done with this relationship stuff, I'm done with this, you're not helping yourself. Number one, you just put blood in the water, and sharks gonna smell you out, and they're gonna be on the attack mode, because you're showing people that you allowed life to weaken you out so much. Not only life, you allow people to weaken you out so much that they took everything from you. You allow them to steal everything for you. And unfortunately, men are not built in a way that they feel that much compassion. There's some men out there, don't get me wrong. There's some men out there, especially like men who are trying to mentor women and get women to understand the mistakes that we keep making. God has especially put that in their heart divinely to have compassion towards women. But do you see that? God has to especially put compassion in most men's hearts to have compassion for women. God has to divinely place it in their heart, because on the regular, you don't see men regularly trying to open the eyes of women and help women to see their mistakes and change and do better. No, it has to be something that God has impressed upon your heart. Different people have different purposes in this world. So that is part of their purpose. But on the regular, men don't really have that compassion for women. Like, if you say something like, oh, I'm so done, I've been treated so wrong by men, this and that, on the regular, there's no man who's gonna be like, oh my God, she was treated so wrong. I can't believe they did this to her. She's such a pretty woman. Let me go and treat her right. No, the best you're gonna get is they're just gonna stay away from you, because you seem so hurt and so put down. The best that they could do for you, the best of men. My video got cut off, but the best of men are just gonna leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? They're not even gonna mess with you because they see that you hurt, and that's them being gracious with you. That's them showing you mercy to just leave you all alone. But then there's another set of men that are just gonna prey on that. This world is fallen. It's not the best. There's a lot of evil in this world. So you are just really setting yourself up to get preyed on by men, if that's the position you're gonna take. This is why I'm on here day in and day out, and so many other men and women are on here, YouTube, day in and day out, telling women that don't run, don't hide. That pain, you need to find the ways and get the tools to heal from your pain, because you have your whole rest of your life to live, honey. You have the rest of your life to live. And the way that you choose to live it dictates the outcomes and the responses that you get from other people. All right? The regular people, the best of people, when they see that you're so hurt and you're beyond traumatized, they leave you alone. And that's people doing good by you. They're doing well by you by just choosing to leave you alone to your own stuff, so you can work on it whenever you choose to do so. But then there's the people who are searching for opportunities. There's people who are searching to get one up. There's people who want to use you. There's people who want to take from you in this world. And this is why it's so important to heal, to actually be on a healing journey, to actually not give up on yourself and seek out a way to overcome your struggles and fix the way that you see yourself and fix your self-esteem and do all the things that we ask you to do, because you don't want to be out in this world vulnerable and become prey to people who are trying to use you. Because if we're being honest, I don't believe that most people who say, oh, I'm not dating anymore, I'm done. Most people who say that, I seriously doubt that they are going to go without dating for the rest of their life. I believe some of them are going to probably be in a whole bunch of situationships, or they'll stop dating for a long time, and then sometime a situationship will pop up, or something that may look like it would be a good relationship will pop up. But because they haven't been doing the work through the time that they chose, the quick moment, some of them it's going to be a quick moment that they don't date. Some of them it's going to be a few years that goes by that they don't date. But if you're not doing your work through those years or through that quick moment, it's good to stop dating. So maybe it doesn't need to be a quick moment. Maybe it does need to be some years. But if you're not doing your work in that timing, you're going to get fooled the same way you've always gotten fooled. Like it's very rare that you, and this might happen. I never put nothing past nothing. So it may happen that a good man might show up and change the way you think about men and be that good man to you, and that would be your man. If that's the case, that just lets me know that you shouldn't have been dating in the first place, that you should have been all that time focusing on yourself. And in due time, the right man would have showed up for you, and you didn't have to go through all those situationships, all that trauma with all the wrong people, because all you have to do is focus on yourself and wait. That's what it tells me. But if that's not your story, then that only means that then what's going to happen, if that's not your story, what's going to happen is you're going to not do the work through the years or the months that you choose not to date, and then something else is going to pop up that's going to pique your interest, because this is a big world, a lot of things going on, a lot of opportunities, a lot of people. You're going to meet somebody that piques your interest. You're going to, unless you lock yourself in your house and never go out, you're going to meet somebody that piques your interest, and somebody that you might pique their interest. And if you're not doing the work properly to be able to vet someone, to love yourself enough to be able to see if that person has love within them, to just do the proper work you need to vet somebody. If you're not able to do that, then you're going to get bamboozled and fooled all over again. And you wasted all that time, that year, that 2 years, that 3 years, that 4 years, that 5 years, that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, that 20 years. That time that you thought you took away from dating to protect yourself, it was ultimately not, I don't want to say ultimately, because you did protect yourself by not dating and focusing on yourself. That was a level of protection. But then you did all of that to still get fooled again 5, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years later, because you weren't really doing your work. You weren't really healing. You weren't really investing into yourself the way you need to invest in yourself. It's for you to, instead of going out in the world all bruised up and banged up from what you've been through, going out in the world your best self, showing up, showing up healed and being able to operate in self-love. Because the key to the game is not to not play the game. We have no choice, but this is life. This is the game of life. All of us have to play. And the key to the game is not to just bow out and admit defeat and be like a dead fish in the water, oozing blood, being like putting blood in the water for sharks to come and attack you. That's not the way. The way to proceed with this game called life, you have to get the knowledge. You have to get the wisdom. You have to do the work. That's the only way out, to do the work. Don't bypass the work. Saying that you're done with this, you're not going to do this anymore, that's just a way, you don't see it yet, but that's the way of you giving up and bypassing the work. And unless you really mean it, which 99.9% of you guys don't, unless you really mean that you're never dating again, ever, and you're gonna die single, then you need to be doing the work. Because I know 99.9% of you guys, you don't really mean it. 99.9% of you guys, a few months, a few years is gonna pass by, and you'll be right back out there again, dating again, making the same mistakes again. So you're not really using your time constructively. The time that you're taking away, it's okay to say, listen, for a time, I'm gonna stop dating. And that's a perfect response to you like continually going through the same unfavorable things while you're dating. That's a perfect thing. Me personally, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. Because I saw that I was going through the same kind of thing, I had to take a halt and begin working on myself. I didn't say, you know what, I'm just gonna give up. No, I'm not gonna give up, because the work that I've been doing has changed my life. And it's no longer even about dating. It's no longer even about finding a relationship, getting married, having a husband, a family. It's not. It's about perfecting me along the way. Obviously, I'll never be perfect, but it's about the process of perfection until I die. It's about me learning and growing and actually liking who I am. And here's a trick. When you actually go through that process and you like who you are and you begin to have standards and boundaries and fortify those standards and boundaries and learn about yourself and go take deep dives and go on that healing journey, you will begin to love and appreciate and respect yourself so much that you're no longer going to allow anything within your boundaries. That's the point. That's the point. If you're going through so much in relationships that it got you so tired and so done, that means you will tolerate it too much. That's really what it is. You tolerate it too much, and you don't want potential people or potential partners that you could have dated or you could have, got to know. You don't want them to know that you tolerated so much. That's another tip in dating. You don't want people to know that your boundaries are so lax and so easy that you tolerated anything. That's not what you're trying to give off. You're trying to give off someone serious, someone who knows who they are, someone who respects themselves. That's the vibes you're trying to give off. But you're not going to give off those vibes until you do the work. You're not going to give off those vibes until you start healing. And when you start healing, that's when you're going to understand that your boundaries are too lax. Your boundaries are too lax. You were doing too much. You were not honoring yourself. You were not respecting yourself. And that's why you got the outcomes that you got. That's why you're so hurt. That's why you're so done right now. That's why you feel so worn down and so defeated, because it was you. It was you who let people get away with too much in your life. And this is on you. It's your responsibility to not allow too much, to not allow people to push your boundaries to the point that now they wore you out. Now you done. Now you're defeated. No, this isn't this. If that happens to you, then there's some work on your part that you need to do to strengthen your boundaries. Because now the new you're gonna date. Now, as soon as you see something that you know for sure is not something that you want in a person, when you know for sure, immediately you dropping it. There's no more third and fifth, and there's no more third and fourth and fifth and sixth chances no more. No, because you see what you need to see. And you know, if someone does something at least 2 times, you know that this is just a pattern. This is just who they are. So you don't need to give them a third and fourth and fifth chance in order to know who they truly are. You don't. And when someone cheats on you once, you're out of there. When someone calls you out your name once, you're out of there. There's certain things that maybe you want to give 2 chances to. There's other things, as soon as you see it, you're out. If someone even fakes like they about to put hands on you, you out. Before, you would have stayed. Before, you would have been like, okay, maybe that was a mistake. Maybe that was a little fluke. We'll see. Well, no. When you begin to love yourself, you begin to cherish yourself and begin to value yourself, especially as a temple of the Lord, as God's daughter or God's son. You're not going to allow the same things you used to allow. Your boundaries are not going to be as lax and easy, because God's going to show you through his spirit. He's going to show you and give you discernment, everything you need to not allow these things to happen again. He's going to strengthen you from the inside out. So don't give up. Go back to the Lord. Go back to the Lord. Return to the Lord and work up your plan. Tell him, the Bible says if you ask for wisdom, God will give it to you. So ask God for wisdom, just like this. Lord, give me wisdom surrounding dating, surrounding relationships, surrounding men, surrounding women, surrounding finances, surrounding business. God, give me wisdom. Whatever area you need that wisdom, ask God to give you wisdom. There's no such thing as giving up in this world. There's no such thing unless you're going to lock yourself in the house and never come out. The only choice is for you to show up and show up for you and show up as your best self. If you don't show up as your best self, you're prey. You're going to be prey. You're going to be prey. So you choose to either be the prey or the predator. Well, you don't want to be the predator either, right? You either be the prey or you be your best self. That's it. That's it. Ain't no giving up. Ain't no, oh, I'm done. No, babe. When you say stuff like that, all you showing is that you're vulnerable and you're defeated. All right. And people just going to leave you alone. But other people, they're going to prey on that. So you have no choice. You show up, you heal, and you show up. And trust me, you're going to be so proud of yourself that you made the decision to heal and to show up. Trust me. All right. So Take that with you guys. I'll see you in a bit.